Emmanuel Gutierrez. Absent at this time. Marisela Gutierrez Rodriguez, absent at this time. Gabriel Maya, absent at this time. Marie Rodriguez. Here. Thank you. Jarrett Singh. Perfect. And then Shonda Golden. Here. Perfect. And then council liaison, Miguel Martinez, absent at this time. And then staff liaison, Abigail Mayorga, present. Mr. Chair, you have a quorum of the Ward 3 Neighborhood Advisory Board.
Just real quick, Abby, I think Manny might be in the Zoom because I see there it says he raised his hand. So he might be here with us virtually.
There we go. Oh, perfect. I see Mr. Gutierrez and Mr. Martinez. I'm going to promote you guys to panelists. So give me 1 second. Hi, Manny. Good to see you.
Okay, so yeah, we can move on to public comment. I don't think anyone else is on the Zoom, right, Abby? I can't see from here.
No, Mr. Chair, but we do have one public commenter registered with us today. If you would like to give public comment and you're in the audience, please feel free to fill out a form and we'll get you registered. Our first public commenter today is Mr. Nathan Ulyat, Director of Parks and Recs for the City of Reno.
Good evening, board chair and members. Nathan Ulyat, Parks and Recreation Director, City of Reno, for the record. I just wanted to come tonight and start our Whirlwind Tour campaign to let people know that our PROS master plan is nearing completion, and that's Parks, Recreation, and Open Space master plan, which is our guiding document for parks and recreation in our city. So it hasn't been updated since 2008, but we did receive a lot of public feedback in 2021, but that seems like a long time ago. So we want to make sure people are aware that it's coming close to finishing up, and we want to get another round of some public inputs, particularly on the priorities that we did identify through the initial round of public feedback. So we have a website that is open for now till the end of the month that will allow folks to give that feedback and identify where those priorities would be, whether it be fields or aquatic centers or trails, things like that. It's on reno.gov/engage, and I have little cards that I'll leave for each of you and for the members of the public. I'll also be coming back as an agenda item in the September meeting to share more and do a little presentation on the site, but we want to get the information out as quickly as we can, and we couldn't get it on the agenda for this meeting, but I wanted to come for public comment and share that with you. So I'll leave these over here on the table, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Our information is pretty easy to find on the website. So thank you for the time.
Wishing to make public comment here in the audience? Okay,
None at this time, Mr. Chair.
We can move on to approving the, Manny's asking in the chat, what was the website again? If you can put that in there, Abby, thank you. If we can move the agenda, do I have a motion to approve today's agenda?
Marie Rodriguez, for the record, I motion that we approve.
Do I have a second?
I motion second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll move on with the agenda, and then I think we have at the back of our packets here, or maybe not. Looks like, yeah, just about 3 pages in, we have the minutes from April 4th and the June 6th meeting. So if you guys want to look those over and then let me know, and we've got a motion to approve the minutes.
Marie Rodriguez, I motion that we approve the minutes.
Do I have a second?
I motion second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, minutes are approved. And
Perfect. And Mr. Chair, to clarify, Gabriel Maya, second, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
And we do have, looks like Miguel is here with us on the Zoom. So Miguel, if you have a council report for us, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, afternoon, everybody. Sorry I couldn't be there in person with you all, but I wanted to make sure I was here. especially to shout out our newest members. Thank you all for volunteering and stepping up to be part of the Neighborhood Advisory Board. And for those that are still on, I appreciate your time and your efforts. And if you know anybody else who would like to get involved, we're still looking for some more members, and we have some spots open. So feel free to invite and let anybody in the neighborhood know. And obviously the maps for the wards in the city of Reno, we're going through the redistricting process right now, which I want to appreciate the chair for providing some comments on some of those maps. And if anybody else has any comments they would like to provide, one of the opportunities to do so is going to be through public comment on the August 9th meeting for the city council meeting. So we welcome any and all of your comments and hope to hear what you all think about the 4 maps that are already published on the reno.gov/redistricting website. Thank you all. Thanks for being there.
Ilya Arberman for the record. It's so Miguel, just to clarify for people, the 4 maps right now, those are kind of the drafts that city council will be and the public will be discussing next Wednesday.
Correct.
And then what's the next step in the process?
I believe the city council will have a discussion on how to move forward with the maps after that on the August 9th meeting, and then the maps will be finalized. The map will be finalized on our August 23rd meeting. I think the timeline is on the website as well, if you want to verify that information, reno.gov/redistricting.
Questions up here for Miguel? Okay, thanks so much. And do we have any report from staff today, Abby?
Yes, Abby Mayorga for the record. I just want to echo the congratulations of the appointments of our new members. We're very excited to have you guys here, and obviously echo your continuous work of the current members. I mean, you guys see Manny here with his baby, so handsome. So we really appreciate it, and all the input that you guys give for parks and plans, for redistricting, all matters. So we can get that information from the community hands-on, and you guys are one of our prime examples of direct communication. Additionally, I do have some updates. Marisela recently resigned from the NAB. So as Councilmember Martinez said, we do have openings. I actually have printed applications here at the table if you're interested. And then Councilmember Martinez touched on redistricting, which is great. August 9th is going to be the first public meet or Reno City Council meeting where they'll be reviewing. Council will give updates and kind of their input regarding the 4 maps. I have it shared here so I can show you guys the website, but the 4 maps are up here. So you guys can look at those in detail. And if you have any questions, please reach out to our redistricting team in order to get that input or give public comment as well. At this time, I think that's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Abby. Any questions for staff? Okay, so we'll move on. Do we have a RPD liaison here?
Actually, they just let me know that they had a warrant issue, so they won't be able to make it today. I'm going to request that RPD comes to our next meeting. So we'll have RPD and RFD to give up those updates, just because I don't believe anyone here is qualified to give those updates for RPD, unfortunately. Although I wish I could. I can read numbers, but I know that you guys have questions. So if you do have, we all have the data. So any questions that you have and would like to forward to me in order to get to them prior to the September meeting, that'd be great. So feel free to send them to me. And again, he apologizes for not being here, but duty calls.
And this, Arberman for the record, sort of clarify, yeah, in our packets, there's the thing that the statistics they would have been presenting on. Is that right, Abby? The stuff in here.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
And there's a public copy up here as well, and other copies if the public is for all the words.
Okay, well, then we can move on to, yeah, I think that was the only non-development project here.
Correct.
So we have the East Taylor Street multifamily development. Looks like we have a couple people here. Do you guys come on up?
306 East Taylor, right? Not a
Yes.
different East Taylor.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks so much for having us, guys. Thanks for your time. I'm Batwan Zadeh. This is my partner, James McDougall. We have an apartment building on East Taylor. We just bought this building last year. It's a pretty beautiful building. It's right on Wheeler and East Taylor, right on the corner, right between South Wells and South Virginia. We bought this building as an 8-unit apartment building. We're here applying for a conditional use permit to allow our 8th unit to exist legally. So we bought this building from an owner who owned it for 39 years. And on original conception, there was an 8th unit that was a laundry unit we didn't know about. Somebody converted this to an apartment at some point, and it's been licensed as an 8-unit apartment building for over 20 years. When we went to apply for our business license, the city of Reno rejected that license because we applied it as an 8-unit and not 7-unit, and told us we had to vacate the 8th unit. We want to permit this unit. We want to do everything that we can to exist or have this unit exist legally. We're happy to pay for permits to do any of the reports, but the city asked us to do a minor, or not minor, just a regular conditional use permit to allow this 8th unit to exist legally. We have sufficient parking. We have over 8 units on site, not on the street, on the parcel itself. If you actually scroll down on the PDF, you'll see what that unit looks like and what the surrounding area looks like. All those alleyway parking spaces are ours. And then there's another parking lot on the other side. We have a beautiful common area. We take a lot of pride in our tenants. We haven't evicted anyone from this building. We want to make sure everybody exists here and enjoys their living space. The city is essentially asking us to vacate that 8th unit, get that tenant out, and not rent it out as an apartment. It's a little bit silly. The apartment is in fantastic condition. It's exactly identical to every single other unit. Layout, style, design, everything. There's nothing different between these units. And we just want to be able to keep this unit existing legally. We did not use investors for this purchase. This is our personal money. We took out a large mortgage on this property. Losing that 8th unit would be extremely painful for us. And we're part of the community. We're not outsiders. We live here locally. And anything that we can do to make this unit exist, we're more than willing to do. We just don't want the blockers. We want to do whatever solution it takes to do it.
Just, this is Elliot Arbeman for the record. So what is, so I'm a little confused. What's the issue with the 8th unit? Or
So the assessor's office has it as a 7-unit. The seller is a local Reno family. And when they sold it to us, they essentially said, hey, the 8th unit is an ADU and auxiliary dwelling unit.
Mhm.
And that they showed us their business licenses and that it exists and the city of Reno doesn't care and that it's a legal unit. We bought the building. We went to apply for our new business license and the city of Reno rejected it and then wanted us to vacate that tenant who had 8 months left on their lease. And we still haven't. We told them we're working with the city and doing whatever we can to, whether it's conditional use permit or an SPD, we'll try every route. We just don't want to lose that 8th unit.
Record. So when this apartment building was originally built, did it have 7 units and then they created the 8th one? Or what was that space used for prior to it becoming an ADU?
So we did a public records request for all the permits. The only permits that were from original construction and the 8th unit, I guess, was a common area laundry room. And then somewhere in the last, the building, I mean, it was the same owner for 39 years, somewhere in that path. And they don't know it either. It's been passed down in the family from trust to trust. And it's a beautiful building, but somebody renovated it and turned it into an 8th unit. And it's been getting business licenses, no problem. It's been inspected by the fire department, by anybody who will sign off to make an apartment unit, and nobody created an issue until now, until our ownership. So we didn't know there was an issue when we bought it, but essentially that issue is the 8th unit was a laundry room and now it's an apartment, which was probably like 20 years ago or more that it was converted. But if you see that unit and all the other units, and if you stand in front of the building, you cannot tell any difference. It's not like a hodgepodge, like ugly unit in the back of a lot or something. It looks like an 8-unit apartment building.
So all of these interior photos that we're seeing here are of that 8th unit or
Correct,
all of
yeah.
them? That one?
Mhm. It looks like this. So it's not like it was built out of touch, out of mind, tiny, small unit in a basement somewhere. It's right on the first floor. And it's from square footage to layout, everything is identical for every unit.
you guys are with Marmot?
I'm licensed with Markman. I'm also a general contractor as well. We have a bunch of projects. This is one of our personal investments. This is not with Marmot. I'm just a licensed broker with Marmot, and I'm also a general contractor with Marmot.
Okay, any other questions up here from the board? By the looks of it, seems like you guys will get it done. You know, I
Okay,
don't think
cool.
anyone here has the expertise to offer any more input than that. Your T's dotted your I's, and yeah, it looks like a unit, especially if someone's living there, I think. Hopefully the city will be able to respect that, and just, seems like it was just an irregularity that never got fixed once upon a time.
Yep. Yeah, as long as you're okay with it. I mean, I think we're here. We've never done this before, so we don't really know which direction to go.
Oh, yeah.
They just asked us to come here and just kind of explain our case.
Yeah, well,
Um,
to clarify, yeah, this board doesn't vote on anything,
Yep.
you know, we don't have any, like, we don't make any official recommendations or anything to the city. We're basically like, kind of like liaisons to Ward 3, to just Ward 3 residents, you know, in the community in general.
Mhm.
And meeting happens so that just other people in the community can find out about stuff like that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
but us, as far as the people up here, we certainly have no say in, you know,
Yeah,
in
no problem.
actually approving the permit or anything. But I think the city does like to see when people come and talk to the NAB, you know, because
Sure.
it's a sign of good faith that you're like actually going out there, you know, letting people know.
Sweet.
I just have a question. When you said that they recommended that you come speak to us, did they say to speak to the city council or to the neighborhood advisory board?
No, to the neighborhood advisory
Okay.
board. I guess it's part of the conditional use permit process,
Mhm.
whatever ward you're in, to come and kind of explain your case. So we're getting a conditional use permit so that basically it's not a traditional approval. So any non-traditional approvals have to go through that conditional use process. And that's what we're going through right now.
Well, thanks, guys.
Cool. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Okay, that's it for our business items. Up here, have any announcements? Or any requests for future agenda items? We do have two new, Jared and Shonda here, so welcome, guys. Thanks for being here. Okay, well, seems like a short one today, so we'll open it up for another round of public comment. If anyone here in the audience or if there's anyone else on Zoom has anything they'd like to make comment about.
And Mr. Chair, just to backtrack to future agenda items, to clarify for the board, next month will be RPD, RFD, and then we'll have Director Uliat come back to discuss the park pros plans and their findings. And then additionally, the maps will be, the redistricting maps will be approved by then, so we can go into discussion of those as well. So we do have a lengthy one for September. Unfortunately, RPD isn't here for this month. I do apologize, but next month we will have a lengthy agenda. And if you think of things, and it doesn't have to be now, because obviously our new members and you guys, if you do think of future agenda items, feel free to shoot me an email and we can get them done.
I do actually, Ilya Arberman, for the record, have a redistricting question, which is, is there a protocol in place for what's going to happen if boundaries change and what happens to the NABs? et cetera?
Correct. Yeah. So when the boundaries change, I was like, because there will be a lot of, we did this back in 2020 when the census came out with the new data. So the NABs did change based on where the NAB members live. So I believe the option will be you're more than welcome to stay on this NAB, or if you would like to be on the NAB that is your new NAB based on the new lines, you'll be able to apply. But we can get into that conversation once those maps are approved, because there'll be a case by case basis. Additionally, there'll be a new NAB because there'll be a 6th ward. So there'll be 6 NABs. Yes.
Or a question from Ilya Arberman, is that change going to be like effective immediately? So starting with the September meeting?
Correct. No, it won't be, it won't be effective immediately. So the maps that are being presented and approved are for the sole purpose of the election in 2024.
Okay.
So they are just for reference for the registrar who needs them by October 1st. So your representative that you voted for and have currently will be your representative until they no longer are, if they're voted out over the lines.
Okay, so there'll be some time.
Perfect. Yeah. And if you guys have questions about redistricting as well, I can answer those at the next NAB, or I can get you the point of contact, because it's a lot of things in the air. Perfect. All right. And then we can go to public comment at this time. Or Manny, did you have any questions? Are you good? Perfect. At this time, if you have public comment, please feel free to make your way to the podium. Okay, seeing no public comment via Zoom, last call in person. Awesome. No public comment, Mr. Chair.
Manny, you want to just introduce us before we sign off here?
You're human.
Can y'all hear me? Can
We
you
can
hear
hear
me?
you. Yes.
Yeah. This is Itzel Gutierrez.
Okay. Okay, you want to move to adjourn, Itzel?
Yeah, she motions.
Okay, do I have a second to adjourn? Okay, everybody in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you. So, stop recording. Bye, Manny. Two.